Are you aware of Songbird Productions? Have you ever heard of a little ST shooter called Wings of Death? Well, if you're a collector or owner of an Atari Jaguar, you really should know these things. Songbird Productions has been one of the premier homes of Jaguar homebrew for quite some time now. I think that only Atari Age can say that they come close to what Songbird provides. Titles like Skyhammer, Towers 2 Enhanced, Asteroid, Atari carts, and many more can be found here for somewhere around $70 to $80 US. Now that sounds like a lot of money, and well, it probably is for most people, but it's extraordinarily fair given the niche nature of the Jaguar, the cost of producing physical carts, and the quality of the physical products themselves. Trust me, you'll find the same prices everywhere, and for homebrew that isn't anywhere near as good. Songbird has supplied me with a digital copy of Wings of Death to review for all of you. So let's see if the game's worth the high cost of entry, or if it's in fact a quiet death of an old Atari ST game. Wings of Death is a 1990 vertically scrolling shooter developed by Eclipse and published by Thalion Software for the Atari ST. This Jaguar port was originally released in 2025 and was developed by Marc Rosocha, who partnered with Songbird. Marc is the original developer, and he did this remaster himself, according to Carl over at Songbird Productions. He was able to improve the frame rate to 60 frames a second, add the ability to hold the button to shoot rather than having to mash it, added several difficulty modes, added EEPROM support for saving high scores and giving the ability to start at different levels after you've completed them. He added alternate soundtracks, and he also added enhanced colors. Songbird also added the ability to run an audio CD during gameplay, which is included with the cartridge for enhanced CD audio. I was not able to test this feature, but it sounds interesting to say the least. As for the story of Wings of Death, our hero, Sager? Dumb American, right? Sager was transformed into a flying beast by an evil, jealous witch queen, and now must traverse 7 levels of high-flying, fast-shooting action to destroy her and revert back to his human form. The game itself won't explain much about this story, but luckily for us, it's not all that important. The only thing I'll say is that the nicely drawn, detailed ending is the only thing we get, but I didn't feel cheated or wanting more. And this ending has been upgraded from the ST's 19 colors to full 8-bit 256 colors. And boy, it looks good. Shooters such as this have always lived and died by the gameplay and presentation. And luckily for us, Wings of Death has those categories well covered. The initial menu features a regal, golden jewel-encrusted accent that looks acceptable, if not just a bit generic. But the actual gameplay graphics, sounds, and experience is anything but generic. In the main menu, we get access to 2 very important options tucked away in the system configuration. You can either run the game as the Atari ST original in both graphics and sound, or you can run it with the improvements made by Songbird and Marc. These improvements being enhanced 60 frames per second scrolling, increased from the original 20, improved music and sound effects, and of course the enhanced colors. I personally enjoyed flipping back and forth between the two, because neither are bad. Sometimes I enjoyed the classic mode, that is the more upbeat music that the ST provided in the original. And sometimes it was fun to hear the more melancholy, minimalistic version that Songbird has provided. Regardless of your personal preferences, I think you'll enjoy one or the other at the very least, but most will see value in both, I imagine. You take control of your flying beast and begin to shoot enemies who fly onto the screen in various formations and patterns. Most, if not all, will require multiple shots to take down, and your character initially moves, well, a bit slow, and shoots at about the same speed. Luckily for us, the power-ups come fast and furious, so it won't be long before black orbs are flying all over the screen to give you several options for increasing your power. Picking these up have a variety of effects, including speed increases, points, powering your shots up, powering your shots down, auto-fire, shields, 1-ups, health packs, and the ability to change the weapon that you're currently using. And there are a nice variety of unique weapons, each of which that can be powered up a ton of times. You have the Half Moon Wave Shot that shoots really fast. You have balls that shoot and burst fire, Doritos that can be powered up to a nice 5-way spread, and balls that break up in multiple directions once hitting the ground. There's also Dragon's Fire and a few others. While I found some of these weapons more useful than others, having such a variety is much appreciated. Well, most of the time. Sometimes you get the weapon you want and power it up to its maximum level. I personally enjoyed the Half Moon Shot, the Doritos, once powered up, and the Dragon's Fire seemed very powerful. But once your weapon reaches the maximum level, you have something else to contend with besides the environment and the enemies. You also have to dodge the power down skull pickups, and the other pickups that not only change your weapon, but start them at the lowest level possible. This can be a death sentence, especially late in the game, and Wings of Death can be devious with where and how it spawns the pickups. You see, these weapon pickups aren't randomized. Once I realized this, it became somewhat manageable to get the weapons and pickups I wanted. But this also means that there are some areas where you need to weave between hazards, and they implanted enemies with specific item drops in those spots. So you either have to move into the hazard, potentially having your health drain quickly and dying, or lose your weapon and run with the inferior power down shot for a while. The enemies can drain your health bar insanely fast. Small shots do minimal damage, and you can take quite a few before needing to worry about your health bar. But running over an environmental hazard or an enemy themselves will have you blowing up in what seems like 1 second flat. It can be frustrating or even unfair at times, but these moments are far and few in between. If I'm honest, Wings of Death feels really fair in its difficulty, at least 90% of the time. All the enemies have patterns that need to be memorized, and you need strategies to employ in order to get the best of them. And this is no more evident anywhere else than during the boss battles. I found the bosses to be an excellent challenge of your skills, most of the time. While it's true that having the correct weapon makes all the difference in the world, the bosses have clear patterns and tendencies that you can take advantage of, meaning that you can kill any boss with any weapon in the game, if you have the skills and thumb dexterity. The level designs themselves follow a lot of the cliches, but the backgrounds are just beautiful looking. I didn't mind traversing yet another water level or ice level, because they put a fantastic spin on everything. One example that really stuck with me is the water level. While flying above, you can see several unique elements below, including landmasses, rocks, etc., all the stuff that somebody would expect. But then you see the large faces and hands coming out of the water below, and they start to tell a story of these massive giant beasts who somehow became trapped and died. And it was their tears that filled up the river with its clear blue waters. Each of them weeping for their fate, so much so that they flooded the land around them. The game never told me this, but rather explained it with its gorgeous visuals. Slowly, as the levels progress, you can sometimes put together these stories, and it's borderline brilliant. This is something so rare in video games in general that I have to give Eclipse kudos, even if it's 30 years too late. And then you have the music, and my god, the music is so much better than I even anticipated. Every time you pick up an item, you have a voice alerting you to what it was, and the voice work is clear and easy to understand. Layer that over the excellent synth tracks, sometimes complete with its own taunts and words, and you have a soundscape that is superb for the Jaguar. As I said before, the original feels very 90s shooter. The modern, redone soundtrack by Songbird attempts to add atmosphere, and it works. But neither of the music tracks are bad, and I say that alternating between the two is the only way to go. But I'll be honest, when I found out that Wings of Death was yet another ST port, I was hesitant to give it a try. Golden Axe, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, and a few other ST ports really let me down on the Jaguar. But I'm proud to report that Wings of Death is not a bad game. Not at all. The game is competent at its core, and the enhancements only make it better. That's why I have no hesitation in giving Wings of Death for the Atari Jaguar a score of 4 Jag controllers out of 5. Wings of Death on the Jaguar is a fantastic enhancement of an excellent game. It's the very definition of a hidden gem. It took me just under 3 hours to beat the game on normal difficulty, and I plan on going back to play it again and again on hard and insane. I have spoke to other people who have yet to beat the game, even after a month or more of trying, so your skill level might add more or less value in playtime, if that's important to you. The difficulty settings really ramp up the damage that you take, making any enemy and bullet a death sentence. I think that if you're a fan of shooters, this game will easily be worth the money. And even if you're not a huge fan of shooters, if you have a Jaguar, you should still check this game out. I'll have a link to it and to Songbird Productions' website in the description below. And please, leave a like if you enjoyed the video and want more Jaguar content in the future. And subscribe if you haven't already. I'm hoping to hit 7,800 subscribers before the end of the year, and if I do, I'll be giving away an awesome Plus Line console. If I don't make the goal, then we'll still do a giveaway, but it'll be somewhat smaller. So if you want a chance to win a Pac-Man 2600 Plus, and you enjoy Atari content, then subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified whenever I upload. There'll be more information on the giveaway when we reach the goal. Okay guys, I've been the 7800 Pro Gamer, a man who is cursed to become a hairless mole rat by an evil witch who rents out the attic above the Atari network, and I'd like to thank you all for watching. And until next time, remember to stay classy, Atarians.